But also, I feel like Nostradamus probably predicted a lot. The more you predict, the more likely you are for something to be right.
In 1555, Nostradamus, the 16th century astrologer, wrote a series of mysterious prophecies that have stunned the world for centuries. His predictions have been linked to wars, disasters, and revolutions. But did you know some of his most shocking prophecies focus on the royal family? From unexpected shifts in power to dramatic family betrayals, these predictions may change the way we view the future of the monarchy. Could Nostradamus have foreseen what lies ahead for the world's most famous royals? Let's dive into 5 jaw-dropping predictions that will leave you questioning everything. Ready? Let's get started. Before we dive into these shocking predictions about the royal family, let's first get to know Nostradamus, the man whose prophecies continue to baffle and intrigue people all over the world. Who was Nostradamus and what did he predict? His name alone brings a sense of mystery, right? But who exactly was he? And why do his writings still spark so much curiosity? Nostradamus, born as Michel de Nostradam in the quaint little town of Saint-Rémy-de-Provence, France in 1503, lived a life that would forever be associated with mystery and prophecy. He was not only a physician but also a seer, someone who believed he could glimpse the future. His most famous work, Les Prophéties, is a collection of hundreds of cryptic verses or quatrains written in a way that leaves people guessing about their true meanings. Some believe these quatrains are eerily accurate predictions of world events, while others see them as vague poetry open to interpretation. One of his most talked about predictions is the Great Fire of London in the year 1666. Nostradamus wrote, "The blood of the just will be demanded of London, burned by fire in the year 66. People look back at this line and are amazed at how closely it seems to describe the fire that ravaged the city, leaving thousands homeless and countless buildings destroyed. Was this pure coincidence, or could Nostradamus really see the future? And then there's his prediction about the rise of Adolf Hitler. In his quatrains, Nostradamus speaks of a young child from Western Europe who gains power through his words and creates alliances with the East. Many see this as a chilling description of Adolf Hitler, who led Germany into World War II, captivating his followers with speeches and leading the world into one of its darkest times. The French Revolution is another historical event, often tied to Nostradamus's prophecies. His verses mention the uprising of the common people and the fall of the nobility, which mirrors the violent overthrow of the French monarchy in the late 1700s. The guillotine, a symbol of the revolution, seems to match his references to beheadings and the fall of leaders. Another jaw-dropping connection is with the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in the year 1945. Nostradamus wrote about great destruction in 2 cities, which many interpret as a warning about the devastating power of the atomic bomb. The eerie accuracy of this description leaves some to wonder if he really did foresee the horrors of war in the 20th century. Perhaps one of the most haunting predictions linked to Nostradamus is the assassination of US President John F. Kennedy. He wrote about a great man struck down in the day, followed by another death at night, which some believe eerily reflects the deaths of both John and Robert Kennedy. It's no wonder people continue to debate whether these are true prophecies or just coincidences that fit after the fact. And then there's King Henry II of France. Nostradamus is said to have predicted his death in a duel with a chillingly accurate description of how a young lion would strike him through the eye and into the brain. King Henry II did indeed die from a wound delivered during a joust by a lance through his eye, adding more fuel to the ongoing fascination with Nostradamus's predictions. Now that you know a little more about who Nostradamus was and how his predictions have stunned people over the centuries, let's dig into the 5 shocking predictions he made about the royal family. Could they really come true? Stay tuned, because what we're about to uncover may just change the way you think about their future. The tragic end and the secret behind Queen Elizabeth II's inheritance. We all remember Queen Elizabeth II, a queen who ruled for over 70 years and left an indelible mark on the world. Her reign, second only to her great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria, made her a symbol of stability and tradition. But even as the world mourned her passing in 2022, Nostradamus' eerie predictions about her final days have left many with questions. According to Nostradamus, Queen Elizabeth's final days would be marked by unresolved family conflicts that weighed heavily on her. These long-standing issues were said to have taken a toll on her health, eventually forcing her to withdraw from the public eye. After her passing, it's rumored her family tried to keep the news under wraps for a brief period before the inevitable public announcement. While this secrecy may not have lasted long, her death sent waves of grief across the globe, especially in Britain, where many saw her as an almost immortal figure. Even though the Queen spent her life preparing her family for this inevitable moment, her passing still came as a tremendous emotional shock, especially to the British people. Her death marked the end of an era, but it did not mark the end of the monarchy. However, Nostradamus' predictions don't stop at her death. They extend into the mysterious realm of her inheritance. One of the most shocking prophecies related to Queen Elizabeth is about an alleged secret lover who could have a say in her personal fortune, estimated at around $465 million. According to Nostradamus' quatrain, verse 3, century 6, a hidden cache of letters, unsigned and without a known author, could be discovered following her death. These letters could reveal a hidden relationship and raise questions about the distribution of her wealth. This prophecy suggests that someone outside the royal family might hold influence over the Queen's vast inheritance. Could such a revelation shake the British crown? While many in the United Kingdom would view this with skepticism, Nostradamus' past predictions, like the one about Queen Elizabeth's death, have caught the attention of both believers and skeptics alike. If this particular prophecy were to come true, the monarchy could find itself embroiled in a scandal that would require the utmost discretion and action from UK authorities. Could this hidden lover and the secret letters be real? And if so, how would it impact the royal family? As with many Nostradamus prophecies, only time will tell if this shocking revelation will come to light. The end of the monarchy. Even with Queen Elizabeth II's passing, Nostradamus' predictions about the royal family are far from over. In fact, they take an even darker turn, suggesting a potential end to the British monarchy as we know it. Among his most striking prophecies is the idea that Prince Harry, despite the controversies and his growing distance from royal duties, could one day ascend to the throne. This alone would be enough to stir speculation, but according to Nostradamus, Harry's rise wouldn't come easily. The prophecy hints that Harry would face a formidable obstacle: his older brother, Prince William, and William's children. Could this mean a bitter rivalry between the once close brothers? Or is it a metaphor for deeper, hidden challenges within the royal institution itself? The idea of Harry, often viewed as the rebellious prince, taking the throne raises questions about the future of the British crown and whether such an event could ever come to pass. But it's not just Nostradamus who predicted such upheaval. Baba Vanga, another renowned clairvoyant, also suggested major changes for the U.K. "ES monarchy." This convergence of prophecies adds a layer of intrigue. Why are these predictions such a big deal? Well, it all ties back to the year 2018, a time many believe marked the beginning of the royal family's decline in political power. Nostradamus suggested that the monarchy would lose its grip on 15 out of the 16 sovereign states in the Commonwealth, with Queen Elizabeth's death as the tipping point. Her passing, according to the prophecy, would open the door for enemies of the crown to strike, both figuratively and literally. There are hints of internal power struggles, but more alarmingly, the monarchy might face external threats from countries like Spain, France, and Germany. These nations, according to the prophecy, will begin rejecting the U.K. "S" policies, viewing the country as isolated and out of touch with modern Europe. Could the royal family be blamed for Britain's troubles on the global stage? Even within the UK, the public's view of the monarchy might shift dramatically. Once a symbol of national pride, the royal family could be reduced to mere figureheads, with their influence dwindling as scandals and internal conflicts come to light. Globally, the royal family might be perceived as corrupt, with their private struggles echoing the drama of Game of Thrones. Nostradamus even foresaw journalists being silenced for speaking out against the crown, leaving the true story of what happens behind palace doors as one of Europe's biggest unsolved mysteries. If these predictions hold any truth, the royal family could be facing unprecedented challenges, and the monarchy as we know it might never be the same again. The future of the monarchy. Let's turn our attention to Prince William and Catherine Middleton. Since their wedding in 2011, the couple has been the subject of countless predictions and rumors. As the second in line to the throne, William's role is crucial. But how does Nostradamus' prophecies fit into their story? What does the future hold for them according to these ancient forecasts? Nostradamus predicted not just Queen Elizabeth II's passing, but also the fate of a prince and his children. Many people wonder if this prophecy refers to William. So why is there so much speculation about him? For starters, William was born on June 21, 1982, right on the cusp between Gemini and Cancer. Gemini, symbolizing new beginnings, contrasts sharply with Cancer, represented by the crab, which is often associated with persistent problems and eventual death. This zodiac alignment is intriguing when considering Nostradamus' predictions. William shares more than just a zodiac sign with his late mother, Lady Diana. There were many who viewed Diana as a disruptive force within the monarchy, a Cancer, if you will, in the eyes of Queen Elizabeth. Could this mean that William, as Diana's eldest son, might play a similar role in challenging the stability of the royal family? Catherine Middleton's birth during a lunar eclipse adds another layer to the mystery. Lunar eclipses are linked to powerful symbolism, including the goddess Diana, which ties back to Lady Diana. Could this celestial event suggest a deeper connection between Catherine and the royal family's destiny? With so many elements aligning, it's no wonder that people are speculating about what the future holds for William and Catherine. As we look at the prophecies and current events, one question remains: will William and Catherine be able to rise above the challenges predicted for them, or will they become part of a larger, more dramatic story, the downfall of King Charles? The buzz around King Charles's future is getting louder, especially with the news about his health. Recently, it was revealed that King Charles has been diagnosed with cancer, discovered during treatment for an enlarged prostate. This news has left many people concerned and wondering about his future on the throne. Some speculate that King Charles might have to step down, either because he chooses to or due to pressure related to his health issues. The lack of details from Buckingham Palace about the type and stage of his cancer only adds to the mystery and speculation. Nostradamus, the famous 16th century astrologer, seems to have predicted such a turbulent time for the British monarchy. His prophecies, found in his famous book Les Prophéties, include forecasts of a king's downfall and the rise of an unexpected successor. According to Nostradamus, the King of the Isles would be driven out and replaced by someone who does not fit the traditional image of a king. This eerie prediction appears to resonate with the current situation involving King Charles and Prince Harry. Nostradamus' prophecy about Queen Elizabeth II's passing, which came true in 2022, adds weight to his other predictions. But what about Prince Harry? Despite his decision to step back from royal duties, could he really become king? It's a question that many people are asking as King Charles's health issues stir up more speculation. The royal family has been no stranger to scandals, and Prince Harry's exit from the royal scene certainly made headlines around the world. Now, with Charles's health in question, the possibility of Harry becoming king seems to have resurfaced. So, could Prince Harry actually become king? Let's explore what might be on the horizon. Recent reports suggest that King Charles doesn't see a future for Prince Harry within the royal family. After King Charles's cancer diagnosis was made public, Harry spoke about his father's health in an interview. He mentioned that illness often brings families closer together and expressed gratitude for the time he could spend with his father. Harry said, "I think any illness, any sickness brings families together. Look, I love my family. The fact that I was able to get on a plane and go and see him and spend any time with him, I'm grateful for that." However, sources close to King Charles reveal that he doesn't believe Harry can return as a working royal. There's also talk that King Charles, despite his health issues, doesn't plan to delegate many royal duties to other family members. Reports suggest that King Charles is unlikely to make major changes to his royal responsibilities while undergoing treatment. Furthermore, Harry's approach of being involved in the royal family only part-time is not seen as sufficient to warrant a return. Nevertheless, some insiders believe that King Charles might be open to mending his relationship with Harry. On a different note, Harry has hinted at becoming a US citizen after settling in California following his departure from royal duties in 2020. When asked why he hasn't pursued citizenship yet, Harry responded, "I have no idea. I'm here doing this. The thought has crossed my mind, but it's not a high priority right now." If he did decide to become a US citizen, it would require him to give up his royal title. The royal family's reaction to Harry discussing his father's health on television hasn't been positive. Prince William is reportedly determined to prevent Harry from returning to the royal family. Media reports suggest that William would take on additional duties if needed, but sees Harry and Meghan Markle as untrustworthy. William's response to Harry's willingness to step in has been a firm "never, nada, no way," following reports that Harry and Charles had some positive exchanges. Despite all the drama, it makes sense for the family to support King Charles during his illness. There's a deep, fundamental bond between them, despite recent tensions. Harry is eager to help and believes a hybrid working model could work, similar to what was proposed in 2020. With the king's illness, there might be more reasons to consider this option. However, Harry has been excluded from discussions about the future of the monarchy. Prince William is at the center of King Charles's succession planning, and Harry's role seems to be out of the picture. A royal expert mentioned that Harry is not involved in succession talks due to a lack of trust. The expert explained that succession planning is highly secretive, and Harry's history of speaking out in interviews makes him an unreliable participant. Prince Harry has expressed sadness about leaving the royal family and insists that he and Meghan didn't have other choices but to step back. Still, sources close to William state clearly that Harry will not be welcomed back. William is focused on his father's health and the monarchy's future, with no intention of including Harry in any new plans. So what does this mean for Harry's potential to become king? Technically, Harry remains in the line of succession, though he has distanced himself from royal life. He's currently fifth in line, after Prince William and William's children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. For Harry to become king, a series of tragic events would need to occur, involving the death of William and his children. But what if Prince William decided to abdicate? This seems unlikely, as William has been preparing for this role his entire life. If he did abdicate, and Prince George was under 18, Harry might be asked to serve as regent until George comes of age. However, other senior royals could also be considered for this role. Even if Harry were chosen, he might opt to abdicate in favor of his own family's well-being and mental health. The intense scrutiny that comes with being a royal might not appeal to him, so, while the future remains uncertain, it's clear that Prince Harry's path to the throne would be anything but straightforward. The royal family's dynamics are shifting, and only time will tell how things will unfold. Prince Harry reunion. Let's dive into one of the most intriguing predictions about the British royal family, the possibility of a reunion. It's no secret that tensions have been high between Harry and his family ever since he and Meghan Markle decided to step back from their royal duties. But now, some believe that 2024 could bring surprising changes. According to astrologer Gaul Eden Sasson, the alignment of celestial events like retrogrades and eclipses this year could create the perfect environment for a royal reconciliation. Could this finally be the year when old wounds heal and the family comes back together? Sasson's prediction offers an intriguing possibility. He believes that Prince Harry's astrological chart is shifting into areas related to money, self-worth, and community. Additionally, Jupiter, the planet of growth and opportunity, is moving into Harry's house, something that hasn't happened in 80 years. This could indicate big changes, not only for Harry's personal life, but also for his relationship with his family. Sasson even suggests that Harry and Meghan might welcome a third child, which could add another dimension to their growing family and perhaps bring them closer to the royal fold. But what truly caught people's attention was the prediction of a possible reconciliation between Harry and his older brother, Prince William. Could it be that the stars are hinting at a royal reunion? The idea of a reunion feels like a long shot, though, doesn't it? Yes, there are astrological signs pointing toward a reunion, and yes, Harry did fly back to England when King Charles announced his cancer diagnosis, but the reality on the ground tells a different story. While Harry's visit to support his father was seen by many as a positive step, the relationship between him and Prince William remains strained. The two brothers, who were once inseparable, now seem worlds apart, with unresolved tensions still simmering. Since stepping back from his royal duties in 2020, Harry's life has taken a very different turn. He and Meghan moved to California, where they've pursued various projects, from launching their own media ventures to engaging in charitable work. But back in England, the royal family has had to carry on without them. Prince William, in particular, has taken on more responsibilities, preparing for his future role as king. Reports suggest that William has been deeply frustrated by Harry's public criticisms of the monarchy and is not keen on the idea of his brother returning to royal duties. These tensions were laid bare in Harry's explosive memoir, Spare, published in 2023. In the book, Harry made several shocking claims, including accusing William of physical aggression and criticizing other members of the royal family. He also touched on allegations of racism within the royal family, a topic that has caused significant public backlash. Omid Scobie, a journalist often seen as a spokesperson for Harry and Meghan, detailed some of these issues in his own book, further deepening the divide between Harry and his family. So, could a reunion really be on the cards? While King Charles has expressed a desire to reconcile with Harry, it seems that an official role for his younger son may not be possible. Sources close to Charles have suggested that he believes healing the rift with Harry and Meghan could benefit the monarchy in the long run. However, he's also reportedly concerned that bringing Harry back into the royal fold could be seen as a step backward. In the delicate world of royal politics, every decision is carefully scrutinized, and Charles knows that any move he makes will have significant consequences for the future of the monarchy. The Sussexes' departure from royal life. It's worth taking a step back to understand how we got to this point. In January 2020, Harry and Meghan shocked the world when they announced their decision to step back from royal duties. At the time, Queen Elizabeth II allowed them to leave their official roles, but she set strict conditions. They would no longer be allowed to represent the monarchy in any capacity, and they could not use their royal titles for commercial gain. This arrangement allowed them the freedom they craved, but it also severed some of their ties to the royal institution. For a while, it seemed like Harry and Meghan were finding their footing outside the royal bubble. They moved to the United States and began pursuing various business ventures, from Netflix deals to charitable work through their foundation, Archewell. However, the transition was far from smooth. The couple has faced relentless media scrutiny, with every public appearance, interview, and statement being dissected by the press. Their infamous interview with Oprah Winfrey in 2021 only added fuel to the fire, as they aired grievances about their treatment by the royal family and opened up about the pressures they faced behind palace walls. In the wake of these revelations, the British public's opinion of Harry and Meghan has been deeply divided. Some see them as brave for stepping away from a restrictive and outdated institution, while others view them as ungrateful for turning their backs on the royal family. Meghan, in particular, has faced a wave of criticism, with many accusing her of trying to overshadow other members of the royal family, particularly Catherine Middleton. Meghan's role in the drama. Much of the public scrutiny surrounding Harry and Meghan has centered on Meghan herself. Since joining the royal family, Meghan has faced intense media attention, some of it positive but much of it negative. Critics have accused her of attempting to emulate Princess Diana, from her fashion choices to her public demeanor. While some admire her for following in Diana's footsteps, others are more skeptical, questioning whether her actions are genuine or calculated. This comparison to Diana has also extended to Meghan's relationship with Catherine Middleton. The media has often framed the two women as rivals, with Catherine representing the traditional, acceptable royal figure, and Meghan embodying a more modern and independent spirit. Whether this rivalry is real or merely a creation of the press, it has certainly added to the tension within the royal family. Meghan's business ventures, including her promotion of lifestyle products, have often been seen as attempts to compete with Catherine. And while Catherine is praised for her grace and elegance, Meghan is often criticized for what some perceive as self-promotion. The relentless media attention has taken its toll on Meghan, and she's spoken openly about the mental health challenges she's faced as a result. In their Oprah interview, both Meghan and Harry revealed the extent of the emotional strain they were under while living in the royal spotlight. Meghan even admitted that there was a time when she felt so overwhelmed that she considered taking her own life. This raw honesty resonated with many people, but it also fueled more controversy, with some critics accusing the couple of airing too much of their personal grievances in public. With all this in mind, it's hard to imagine how a reunion between Harry and his family might take place. The tension between him and William seems particularly difficult to overcome. William has remained largely silent about his brother's criticisms, but sources close to him suggest that he feels deeply hurt and betrayed by Harry's actions. As the future king, William has been preparing for his role as a leader of the monarchy, and the last thing he wants is more public drama. Yet family ties run deep, and it's possible that the two brothers could find a way to rebuild their relationship in the future. King Charles, meanwhile, appears to be more open to the idea of reconciliation. Having taken the throne after the death of Queen Elizabeth in 2022, Charles has faced the difficult task of uniting the family while also navigating the complexities of modern royal life. He understands that the monarchy must evolve to stay relevant, and he likely sees the value in healing the rift with Harry. However, time is not on his side. Royal commentators have suggested that if Harry hopes to be welcomed back into the royal fold, he may need to act while Charles is still on the throne. Once William ascends to the throne, the door for a royal return could close for good. So, what does the future hold for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle? Even if a reunion with the royal family is possible, what would that look like? Would they return to their royal duties, or would they continue living their independent lives in California? The truth is, no one knows for sure. What we do know is that the dynamics within the royal family have shifted dramatically since Harry and Meghan's departure, and any potential reunion would come with its own set of challenges. Public opinion of Harry and Meghan remains polarized, especially in the United Kingdom. Some people admire them for forging their own path, while others see them as having abandoned their responsibilities. Despite all the drama and speculation, one thing is certain: the world will continue to watch their every move with bated breath. For now, all we can do is wait and see what 2024 has in store for this famous family. Whatever happens, you can be sure it'll be headline news. Now, it's time for you to share. What are your thoughts about the dynamics in the royal family? Will Harry and William find a way to repair their fractured relationship? Will Meghan be able to mend her ties with the rest of the royal family? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, fam. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't leave here without checking out the next video that pops up on your screen.